Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Week 12 edition. This is now episode 12 because of our skipped week. We're back in sync with our week numbering of the League of Ordinary Jabronis podcast. Joined here today, as always, by Joe and Targus. How was your week in fantasy? Let's start with Targus.
I still believe my team's a fraud. I think my gambit to pick up running backs and then trade them away because I didn't think I would be contending is going to end up biting me in the ass. Honestly, I could
very
really
well
use
might.
Rico Dowdle.
Yeah,
I could really use Rico Dowdle this week. I might have to play Stinky Nichols this week. We'll see.
Yeah, you did.
But
You could come get Roshan. He's good for a touchdown. He gets the Jamal Williams treatment.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely
what's
true.
interesting though is that I feel like everyone's kind of gridlocked on the trades because no one wants to make a move because everyone feels like they don't know if they're going to be selling or buying.
Well, I said this like at the end of the slate in the last week. Yeah, it's like there's too much like, am I going to make it? Am I not? Like, and
yeah,
who
absolutely.
would you actually want to get rid of if you're if you're like
Jordan
Casey,
or Matt?
You're 6-6. Like,
yeah, exactly.
If you lose this week, your team is not like that's a lot of bad luck this year. And so who is actually worth moving on from if you actually wanted to make a move?
Yeah, everyone's valuable.
Right.
You never know when an injury is going to knock out, a player on your team, a player on someone else's team, and then that guy on your bench is just super valuable all of a sudden.
Yeah, right. The Jordan Mason thing.
Right. But dude, the Thursday night game, I was mystified. That was probably one of the coolest games I've ever seen.
The Baltimore Cleveland snow game.
Or
Pittsburgh Cleveland snow game.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh Cleveland snow game. That was like one of the coolest games I've ever seen, because usually snow games it's like snowing at the beginning and there's snow on the ground on the field already. But that game by the end, like, oh my god, that game was so good.
It reminds me of that.
We should start there with Danny's fucking
Oh yeah, absolutely
blow up.
Absolutely. So, let's start with Danny.
Our plan this week is to, and probably for the rest of the season, to do matchups, talk about matchups, because every game, especially before playoffs here, like running up to week 15, is so important. So yeah, we're going to talk about matchups. That's our plan.
And I mean, we'll start with Danny. Just go from highest points to lowest points here. Yeah, Danny, he's already dead. Danny literally with the 99 point overkill here. Whoa. Absolutely.
Destruction.
Yeah, complete
and it started with
slaughter.
That Cleveland game.
Yep, with
Myles Garrett went off for 300,
three sacks
and
30 points. Yeah, one forced fumble, a strip sack.
Insane.
3 QB, crazy.
And it was very indicative of this matchup because TJ Watt didn't do shit.
Right. Every player except Kyle Hamilton just went absolutely nuclear.
I mean,
absolutely crazy.
It's just crazy. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Hamilton can't hang.
Is this the record? I think Danny holds the record from last season for points.
Correct.
Well.
Yeah.
Correct.
I think it's the top 3.
Because of
Danny has the top 3 points scored in league history. From my investigation on Monday night.
Goes off. It goes the fuck off.
It goes the fuck off. Yeah, I mean, everybody in here had a great.
Just imagine if you had Josh Allen this week.
I know. My God.
Russell Wilson was okay, but damn.
Also,
had no
choice.
Blissfully, Daniel Jones will never outscore Josh Allen again this season.
No.
It's just not going to happen.
Unfortunately, that meme is
meme is done. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. The Danny Dimes outscoring Josh Allen will not occur again.
That's so funny.
Trevor's side of the ball, you're really, just a kind of collapse of the running back position for him.
It's that meme I posted of Danny Chad.
Yeah. Against Trevor only, but yeah.
But against everyone else is just weak as fuck for some reason.
Trevor also had
the only 2 losses Trevor's had this season has been against Danny.
To Danny, yeah, and last year he went 2-0 against him as well if you count the playoff matchup too. So
it's funny that Stafford and like Stafford is essentially the equivalent of like Purdy, like
Mhm.
with slightly less upside because he doesn't run. Purdy runs a little bit, but like
Right.
they're like the same player.
Hey, he had
But-
one carry for 15 yards. He's got
All
more
right,
rushing
whatever.
yards than Huzmaflitz now.
Fugu gods.
Yeah. No, wait. Ah, fuck, I forgot who that stat was, but whatever.
Oh, I think it was Aiden O'Connell.
I think it was Aiden O'Connell. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got
He
more
and
rushing.
Stafford had the same number of rushing yards, and now
Was
Stafford
0.
has
Now
one.
Stafford has 15 more.
Yeah. I gotta say, TJ Watt has been kind of underwhelming as of late. Yeah, he's obviously been amazing earlier in the season, but last 3 weeks, like it's pretty modest for TJ Watt's standards.
Yeah,
He's just not
absolutely.
getting home as often as he was earlier in the season, and I think that was really not that Trevor could have literally done anything to win this matchup, but
No.
he had a pretty respectable week.
I mean, that's the thing is that to Trevor's credit, he had the highest start-sit percentage this week. He was like, I think 99% correct with his decisions, which means you only really missed out on like a point or two. Like, just wasn't your week, my man. Rip.
He accurately navigated the Khalil Mack start sit decision. So
Right.
good for you, Trevor. You
Yes.
can take that as a moral victory.
That is absolutely the moral victory there. Yeah.
And it
Did you
also
see Khalil Mack's
reinforces-
comments about the Chargers Baltimore game
I did
afterwards?
not.
He quote, I'm not worried about Derrick Henry. Anytime he comes to my side, I'm gonna get him. Which
Narrator.
Yeah.
He didn't get him.
Yeah. That is what we call bulletin board material.
But he said it. He said it after the game, which is what was wild. And he did say some other things like, I love playing against the greats, and I feel like it brings out the best of my game as well. Which, yeah, probably I believe that, Khalil. But like you didn't get him. You shouldn't be coming out after the game saying, oh yeah, anytime he comes to my side, I'm gonna get him. Like,
Right.
no.
Yeah.
Well, before we move off of this matchup, I wanted, since we're on Trevor, I wanted to try and trick you guys here. So this is a little trivia question. Okay.
Sure.
Who, as of this week, is the max points for leader in the league? Don't look at it. Just guess.
Max PF
Max
leader.
points
Wait,
for-
I know.
Max
I
points for
actually,
leader.
I did look at this.
Can you remember who it is? Is it Trevor?
I don't think so. I think it's like
Is it Danny
surprisingly.
after this matchup?
I don't think it's Danny either.
Who is it?
Just
Just guess.
I think it's Josh.
Okay. You think it's Josh? Joe, who do you think?
Ben.
You think it's Ben?
Yeah.
Let's look.
It is Ben.
It is Ben. Okay, yeah.
Ben's 6 and
That
6
would be-
mid team is absolutely mashing this season.
What
mean,
is?
that's what
I
you-
can't see it on the desktop
You can't see it
version.
on for
Yeah,
whatever
on the
reason, you
browser.
can't see it on
Fucking
desktop, right?
sleeper, get your shit together.
But
But-
Trevor
I mean,
is
this is
very
like-
close behind him. But Ben, you are killing it right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You just
Ben,
need to pick your players better, buddy.
that is.
Yeah.
I mean, like he said in chat the other night, like that has been his downfall
Well, that
all
was Matt.
season.
That was Matt.
I thought
Yeah,
that was
Ben too.
no. Ben did too.
Yeah.
They both did, but
Yeah, they both been fucking that up. We'll get to Matt in a minute. With
Yeah.
the worst performance
Well,
in
yeah,
league history.
coming back down around, yeah, by a not so wide margin, surprisingly. Like Casey had a pretty gnarly one last year, but
Yeah, he did.
I mean,
But
what's
this-
happening with Ben is like what happened last year with Jordan. It's you have the best running back. Like,
right,
right.
right. Yeah,
Having,
and he's-
having the RB1 will do that.
their
Well,
max PF is only 10
talk
points
about one
different.
of those matchups then.
And then Danny actually is right behind them with about a 30-point difference between them. So next matchup, which one did you
Yeah,
want?
who's next? Who's next? Let's go in the
We'll
list
just
here.
go down the order here. So we
Yeah.
started with Trevor. Let's do John and Matt.
Okay.
So this is
From
Not
first to
very-
last.
Yeah.
Let's start with Matt. Matt, what the hell, bro?
dude, this sucked. This was rough.
No,
we're on the
touchdowns,
wrong-
no sacks.
wrong
the
week.
wrong week.
Yeah, here we go. Still Matt.
Yeah, that's like
Matt and Josh.
just
This This
No
this one
touchdowns.
this one
No
sucks
sacks.
for Matt because this is Josh eliminating Matt from
Yep.
contention completely. Sorry, Matt.
You're pretty out of it at
Yeah,
this point.
I think
Let's look at the point
especially after the
score. Oh yeah, Matt is dead last in points score.
completely out. Yeah.
He's in the running also for the I guess you could say top seed for the toilet bowl, which means that he could get the first overall pick pretty
readily.
pretty handedly.
Yeah.
He just needs a good couple weeks.
Yeah, he
needs
to escape the toilet bowl early, and he'll have rocked the number 1 overall pick here.
I believe in you, Matt. Get Gianti. You need him.
Yeah, something. Because I mean, Ford has lost pretty much most of his snaps to Chubb coming back.
Nope.
Jonathan Taylor's just had a
bad.
bad game. Yeah, Cooper Rush is bad. So CD has fallen off.
Yeah.
Sam Laporta's sophomore slump. Jameson Williams is still okay.
But
Huge.
he's getting like.
Huge had a terrible game.
This was awful. And he said it himself. Like,
He knows.
he knows he's got to be better. Like, I mean, shit. This goose egg from Huge is rough.
I will say though that like I just want to rag on Scott for a little bit about Keon White, even though he like absolutely shit the bed for 3 points. Like, I think he's a top 10 like D lineman this year in terms of points scored.
Yeah, looks like it. Number 5 overall.
He is top 5. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, having these kind of multiple
for pure
sack
D line though, that's
yeah,
just that
for
position,
just DL exactly.
Line, not
yeah.
edge.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's not nothing.
Still good. I mean, this guy is definitely worth hanging around. I mean, every once in a while, you have those crappy games, right? But he's got a solid floor. Nobody, right?
Isn't it? Well, it's Dexter Lawrence is number 1 most likely, and then I think
on the Patriots.
No, I'm talking about
overall. Oh, points. Okay, yeah. Not
D line.
Not depth. Yeah.
Hinkle, Hendrickson, Watt.
Here, I actually can
pull
DL scoring.
I don't know.
Here.
I don't like the rankings in Sleeper because a lot of these guys have like they're listed as like Brian Burns, for example. He's a defensive end.
Right.
But he's listed as a pure defensive tackle. But I have other defensive ends like Danielle Hunter, who's dual designated linebacker DT. So it's I don't take any stock.
Or
in them.
DLLB,
their actual role.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Anyway, to Joe's point, Keon White has been good.
Absolutely,
as a fantasy asset this season. I think honestly, so there was 2 IDP trades. Well, technically 3. 2 IDP trades this season that involved, actual capital, which was Keon White for a 3rd and then Zach Bond for a 3rd. So basically that 3rd round pick just kind of got shuffled amongst each other. And I think that worked out for everyone involved. Like Joe got his 3rd, I got Zach Bond, and then he got Keon White, Matt got Keon White. And, I don't hate it. I think those players have been serviceable.
Yeah, they've been good. Yeah, absolutely.
The other IDP trade was Frankie Louvu for a sandwich, which ended up being a horrible trade for me. You're welcome, Danny.
Good sandwich.
Yeah.
And then
Patrick Mahomes, like even though he put up 30, has been super disappointing for Patrick Mahomes.
This was the week he needed to get 30 out of Mahomes too, because Texans they're not on bye.
They almost lost to the Panthers, the Reapers.
I know.
They almost got reapered.
They almost got complete. It's really, they almost got completely waxed by the Panthers. Trap game for Kansas City for sure. But
well, since we're talking about Josh, Ramondre Stevenson is terrible at football.
Awful.
I listened to this podcast it was before the Seahawks played the Patriots, and it was like a crossover podcast where it was a Seahawk content creator talking with a Patriots content creator, and this Patriots shill was talking about how Ramondre Stevenson is in the same tier as Kenneth Walker, and I was like, what?
What are you talking about? No.
What do you mean?
No.
No.
No way.
Ramondre Stevenson also, but he got a bag, so he's gonna be around. He'll be fine for fantasy, but I feel like they could do
Absolutely.
better. Their offensive line is not very good, but like, I don't know. Every time I want to like Ramondre Stevenson, but it's just like he just seems like he just can't get going.
You know
Really
what?
give him the ball. He just doesn't.
I
You
mean,
know
there's
what?
He's
really
breaking
bad,
tackles and
Hold
making
on.
explosive plays.
I'm actually
we have
noticing
really bad
something.
vibe out of like the Pats right now, and part of it's like like just the offense is terrible, and
Yeah.
no one's like able to do anything. Like,
Yeah, your hope is that they get some offensive line help in the offseason, and then players like Ramondre Stevenson and Drake May and Jalen Polk actually start doing stuff.
Boys,
Jalen Polk has
I
been
hate to
absolute-
interrupt, but there's a technical issue here. If I'm maneuvering around on the sleeper window, then it does not transmit it into OBS, seemingly.
Okay,
So
we'll fix it.
I need somebody else to do the actual sharing of screen, if that is possible.
I
All
only
right.
have one monitor, so
I'll do it.
Okay, thank you, Targ. I'm gonna
thanks. Bud.
take this thing down. Yeah, apologies about that, folks. I just noticed that issue, and we will get that corrected.
Okay.
I was pretty high on Ramondre coming into the season, just because like I thought he would like just be like, you know, a workhorse type and just get volume and like be just a good play every week because
That's basically what he is.
Except he's not a good play.
Yeah, well, even then, his snap percentage doesn't show that he's like the primary back. It looks like the Patriots are floundering, looking for something, anything, to spark them, and
I mean, if
the
you-
running game ain't it.
Yeah, well, if you listen to any of the like the Patriots content creating stuff, just any of it, it's all bad. Like no one's happy except for like they got Drake May, and even Drake May is like, he's a rookie quarterback. Like, yeah, there's not much. Like, you can talk about quarterbacks all you want, but it's like, yeah, we all kind of know what's going on.
I will say though, in a 12-team dynasty league where we have like 40-man rosters, where there's everyone who's worth rostering at the running back position is rostered, and then some. Ramondre Stevenson is definitely not a problem as an RB2. Like, he's got Kyron Williams as his RB1, which is perfectly fine. As far as roster construction goes, I'd be
Tony
happy
Pollard
with
is good.
Ramondre as my RB2, and then he's got Algier.
Yeah.
He's also got Pollard. Pollard's like had a really good season, honestly.
Pollard actually lately has not been amazing. Like,
I mean, he was good against Houston, but against the Chargers and the Vikings. But those are both really good defensive teams, Like,
these two guys,
Houston maybe not.
these
No,
two
no,
players,
no. Not
Ramondre
Houston.
and Tony Pollard, are
LA
basically
and
the same.
Minnesota are good defensive teams.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
San Diego and Minnesota are good defensive teams. You don't expect, as great of especially against the run. They're really strong.
Yeah, Tony Pollard is a question mark for me for next year. Like, what do the Titans do? Do they like him enough to keep him on the roster? I don't remember what his contract was.
They're gonna draft him
That
pretty
situation
high.
will be very interesting because there's going to be a lot of guys coming out that are
Yeah.
going to be drafted in the second, like at least the second round. We're going to see a lot of second round running backs. Like, obviously, Gentry should go first round, but like, you just don't know, like, if somebody's going to do it. Like, we have recent successes of Bijan and Gibbs, but then there's like, you can say, is Zeke a success? Like, obviously Saquon is very good, but like the Giants are a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
I think overall, the way this is why I said Josh's team is a dark horse to win it all, is because top to bottom, his team is like, he doesn't have like superstars at every position, but he has really good players at every position and good depth. Like,
he should
his running
have
back room
consistency.
is fine. It's not great. It's fine, and he has really good receivers.
Well, the one thing I think that did sink him was that like the Giants are a dumpster fire, and like,
yeah,
Malik Neighbors came out looking like the next like superstar receiver, and like now it doesn't matter. Like, he is fantasy irrelevant for the rest of the season. They have no quarterback, they have no hope, and they're giving up on table. Like, that's what, like, if he had that same production as he had in like the first 3 weeks, like legit contender, just like the floor there.
Right. I mean, yeah.
Well, shout out to this pickup I think getting Nick Cross off the wire this season was like one of the best safeties that you could have rostered from just getting stuff off the waiver wire. This guy's tackle numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah, pretty
He's
phenomenal.
not really getting the big plays, but yeah, he's been phenomenal as a waiver wire pickup.
He's
Josh has been very
another
adept
great
at-
floor guy. I mean, I think that's emblematic of Josh's team, right? Is that he's got a bunch of guys with a really good floor and
Yep.
maybe just not a ton of potential to boom.
Yeah, he just keeps getting smoked by the Trevors and
then
the Dannies blowing up for no reason
and teams that
those
boom.
sorts of
Yeah,
teams.
exactly.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, Van Ginkel is like the definition of a boom player. Like he's leading IDP players in like points probably.
Yeah, I think
Josh
he is. I think he is.
Josh is
number one.
as of this week 5th in the points for category, so he's actually squarely in the running for the 6th seed.
Yes,
As of
absolutely.
this week.
As of this
Last
week.
week we were writing him off, saying he was dead, but Josh is squarely in it still.
Yeah,
considering
pretty-
that he's not
pretty
going to make it by
close.
record.
Yeah,
I think he's mathematically unable to make a top 5.
correct.
Yeah,
So
maybe
he's
6 and 8.
he's the favorite. to be
Any
the 6th
any
seed.
team with 8 losses cannot make the top 5 at this point. That's like and I don't think even a team with 7 losses will be able to, based on the way the schedule will work out
Yeah.
over the
It's gonna
next
be
2
crazy.
weeks. Yeah.
All right. Next.
He has to
First.
basically hope for the 6th seed that I make it in by record.
Yeah. He
Right.
pretty much.
Yeah,
And
Or
I think you will, Joe.
and
I
either
think you will.
Joe will or Ben will. The problem is that Joe is up against Trevor in 2 weeks.
Well, I'm I'm against Danny and Trevor.
Danny and
So,
Trevor
like-
over the next 2 weeks. You have
Yeah.
a real uphill battle to get those 2 wins to keep yourself
Well,
in contention.
Danny's team is psychotic, and you never know what you're going to get.
You never
out of
know
that.
what you're gonna
But
get.
Trevor's team, you're just going to get 195 dropped on your head. It's just what happens. 'cause
Somewhere between 160
he has-
and 230 is
he
gonna
has
come
four-
down.
He has 4 top 25 running backs in a dynasty format. Like that's
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous.
He's also the only one currently locked into a playoff spot, and that is the number
Yeah.
1 seed. No one can catch him.
Far and away.
At this
Well,
point.
the only one who can is Danny, apparently. But
No, he can't. By record, Danny can't catch him. There's 2
I'm
weeks.
just talking by points, man.
Yeah, by
It's just-
points, sure,
every
but,
time
like-
they play, every time they play.
No, but like seriously, there's 2 weeks left, and Danny has 7 wins, and Trevor has 10. There's no he can.
Well, yeah.
Trevor
no,
could bench his entire team for the next 2 weeks and still walk away with the number 1 seed.
Well, with the memeing about how his work, it's like hard for him to set his lineup. It's possible. We'll see.
Yeah. As soon as he
he's been
sets
setting
it,
his lineup though.
well,
Just at
he
the
was-
last minute. but-
he was. We were watching the games with him on Sunday, and one of the things he said to me was that this is the first week in many weeks that he's actually been able to actively set his lineup. And
And
it's the
watch.
first week in many weeks that he hasn't
He gets
scored
smoked.
above 200 points. So it's just like,
it's like last year when you could
set it and forget it. Yeah, just set it and forget it.
The year he's really busy with work and can barely pay attention to football and fantasy.
Just going off.
He's killing it in like
Yeah.
every league.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about this matchup. Joe.
Yeah, Joe
Jordan.
and Jordan. Woof. This keeps you in
Yeah.
Jordan really
contention.
fell flat here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
I mean,
maybe eliminates
McCaffrey is
Jordan.
not right. Like he
No.
should not be playing.
No,
Like,
he
he
really
really
shouldn't. He looked like a shell of himself in that game. Like
I saw Jordan Mason finally getting some run in
near
that
the
game too. Like I just saw his long dreads.
only
and I
in
was like,
garbage
"Oh."
time. Only in
Yeah.
garbage time. And by
Yeah,
that
so
point
he
it
was
was
paying
like
attention
way
to the
too
game.
late. Yeah, I paid pretty close attention to this game for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I can't imagine why.
No bias there.
Nope, no
Nope.
bias there at all. But yeah, I mean, McCaffrey would have had an even worse game if it weren't for his receiving totals here. You know, like that's the real deal. Is that like if he was doing this on rushing alone, he would have like 4 points less. And like it's a bad look. Basically the only thing that was working for the Niners was like little bubble screens, and the Packers were pretty on top of that too. So
I mean, the Shanahan offense without like actual like
quarterbacking.
quarterbacking is
Yeah.
still like every other offense without a quarterback.
I
Bad.
do not understand what the fuck the 49ers did there, choosing to put Brandon Allen in with an injured finger on his throwing hand and a splint. instead of Josh Dobbs. That seems dumb.
Shanahan's a control freak. I mean, this is just another issue of
but
behind the scenes stuff just taking over the actual give you the best shot, and it's like
there is no reason that Dobbs shouldn't have been the starter this week. It's like based on the performance, like they clearly made a really stupid decision there, and it bit the 49ers in the ass. That game was not competitive ultimately for the 49ers, basically from the jump.
Yeah.
On a positive note, Jackson Smith-Njigba for the Seahawks has been
great this year. He's been having a really good year. Now that
what the hell, AdBlock? Thanks for letting me know.
Thanks. Want your money.
Thanks, AdBlock.
Dude,
hey,
get out of here.
No, we don't want you.
I like you, but
yeah, I appreciate it, but that's like honestly, that's the exact opposite. That pop-up is the reason you get AdBlock. And then to block that ad for AdBlock.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
I needed AdBlock.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Anyway.
Add AdBlock to the
good. It was actually very funny to watch. Like, it's been very fun. It was very funny to listen to Trevor be mad about JSN.
Yeah, he was. Trevor was extremely mad about JSN
he's eating into DK's usage.
He's eating he hasn't been able to watch any games this year. It's really the problem.
Oh, really?
Well, the problem is that he really remembers the 10 drops that Jackson Smith-Njigba had last year.
Yeah, when he was
the same volume and the same
And he got Shane Waldroned.
Yeah, exactly.
He wasn't even running routes last year. He was literally a check down merchant last year. That's all he did. If you watch the tape, that's all he did.
Mm-hmm. And it's Shane Waldron's fault for sure. And all the drops last year too. But JSN is having a really good second year jump here.
Dude,
I
the
think.
JSN tunnel screens and the end breaking routes at the second level have been his bread and butter this season, and he looks.
He's the only Seahawk that actually we should run screens for. We shouldn't run screens for anybody else. He's the only one that can do it.
Kenneth Walker is really good in the screen game too, and that's one of the reasons why I'm pissed at Ryan Grubb is because they just use him as this one-dimensional, just up the gut.
They use him like a power back when that should be Charbonnet's role. And
the only thing that I really liked from Shane Waldron's system was the way that the amount of go ball, DK go ball 50-50 situations, those kinds of plays, and then the Kenneth Walker screens, because you just get Kenneth Walker in space and magic happens. But they don't do that. They just run him up the middle.
Yeah,
they cannot get the run game going. So it's pretty much just the JSN show for the time being.
Yeah, no, the run game's been very disappointing.
Awful.
Yeah.
Pretty trash.
Yeah, the other thing is welcome back.
Mike Evans.
Basically, no, not Mike Evans. He got game scripted out.
The
Giants are an absolute
so bad
disgrace. From the beginning of the season, from Hard Knocks to now, it was just you cannot have scripted just a worse run for a team. Hey, we let our best player walk. Hey, our coach is losing the locker room. We have a rookie, our rookie sensation isn't getting the ball. Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones.
The Giants are
it's
garbage.
They're a mess.
I remember seeing it was the half, and I was like, oh, is Mike Evans going to get some touches? He's got a pretty decent game at the half, 60 yards or whatever. And it's oh, they're up 30. Nope. They're done.
Those are the worst.
It's going to be let's throw Bucky Irving or Rashad White just at the wall of meat and
yeah. Dude, that is exactly why I get so nervous when I'm watching and my fantasy play, my offensive fantasy player is playing on a team where they get a special teams touchdown or a pick six or something. It's just it makes the game script so funny, because then all they really need at that point, the defense gets fired up when something like that happens, and then they really lock in usually after a pick six or a fumble recovery for a touchdown or whatever. And at that point, it's then they start running the ball a lot, and then they score 2 touchdowns, and if one of those is some random wide receiver 5 depth piece guy, get you get like the Dick Jackson or like the John Smith touchdown. It's like, okay, and then it's like the fourth quarter, and they're either running the clock down or the backup QB's in, and they have like third and fourth string wide receivers and running backs out there, and you're like, cool.
Yeah, I mean, like,
This team smashed the other team, and my fantasy asset stud or whatever is just not useful.
I mean, we'll talk about this a little bit more in my matchup, but that exact thing happened in the Packers game with Malik Heath catching a touchdown at the very end.
Well, it's like the other thing too is just like rip to all of like for the remainder of the season for anybody not named Derrick Henry or Lamar for the Ravens. Like Todd Monken is, I don't understand what people see in him. Like he's gonna get a head coaching job, and I just like I'm out. I'm so fucking out. Like
he goes to Jacksonville or some shit.
Yeah.
And
Michael Wilson plays for a baseball team. Like the Cardinals, I don't know what they're doing, man. Like, good lord.
The Seahawks defense smoked them. Kyler Murray couldn't get anything done.
Classic Cardinals collapse.
I will say, Devin Witherspoon has been pretty disappointing this season, but he caused that pick six. Cody
Bryant, right?
Kobe Bryant, that's right. With the Beastquake homage.
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah,
I love that. We were watching that live, and we were all hyped about the Beastquake homage there. That was.
But Devin Witherspoon caused that pick six because you could see him. Yeah. It was like Troy Polamalu-esque, where
it's really annoying. Actually,
the way that he's not
like get credit for anything on that fucking play, and he definitely got a QB hit. Like he got his hands on Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Like
not
even getting a QB hit for that one.
The way he changed direction at full speed to like cause that pressure and then get Kyler Murray to just kind of panic and get the ball out of his hands because he was Devin was gonna get to him if he didn't get the ball out, and he just throws a duck.
Mm-hmm.
This is why it's an interesting like dynamic at the top of the draft because like he's 22 years old. Usually the top of the draft is reserved for like true juniors, people coming out at 21, like to the NFL, making the jump. And like you've got to be you got to have something special in your game to not be in that tier of like 21-year-olds in the top of the draft. So like it's just the elite athleticism, like the stop-start ability, something like.
Yeah, I don't know about his prospect going forward as a fantasy asset per se, because I think he's going to gain the reputation as a lockdown corner, but we can hope that Mike McDonald kind of like uses him as like a nickel and like nickel packages and stuff. And he's been actually pretty impressive as a edge rusher too, that the opportunities that he's had. I think he picked up a sack last year.
Well,
he got 3 sacks last year. That's pretty good for a corner.
Witherspoon still plays like he essentially has taken the Kyle Hamilton role. Like one thing that like, Mike McDonald does that is fun, it's just a fun thing to watch, is he really likes to send both corners at like on a rush. He really likes to do that.
That's
and it's
fun.
just like it hasn't been working. Like it causes pressure, but it doesn't actually get home ever. And so like that's more of a player thing than like an actual scheme thing at this point. Like sometimes you just got to hit the dude.
Yep. Got to get home.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think that this matchup was pretty lopsided. Jordan really kind of shit the bed here. Sorry, bud. Your defense didn't do enough, and your offense just couldn't get it going. Just not a good week.
And really missed out with some key players on the bench, right? Like I feel like there were
too, like,
a good number of bench points here.
Fat Allen actually did something.
Yeah, and fucking Trey Tucker too. I mean, like
you're not playing Fat Allen after he does nothing all season over. I guess he flexed Will Dissly.
Yeah, flexed Will Dissly. I mean, that's a choice. So DeAndre Swift hasn't been good either. His pickup of
Wanham, which
he loves Wanham.
He got a sack, so you can't like.
Dude, I love Wanham.
Wanham's good. He's been good.
Yeah. He's been hurt all season, but like last season, this dude was a beast last season.
Yeah, he really was.
So many
He's young.
sacks. He got 8 sacks last season. That's crazy.
The other thing about Jordan's team, and just as another like Christian McCaffrey-esque thing, is the replacement of Amon-Ra in like where he is in the wide receiver rankings. Like he just like doesn't, with the emergence of like David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, like they just don't pass as much. They just don't.
Mm-hmm.
By our scoring, I mean, right here, you can see he's the top 2. He's the number 2 wide receiver this
That's
season.
because of a couple 40-point games, though, right? More than anything. Or I guess the one 40-point game.
He's been consistently
pretty
good.
Yeah.
He's been really good consistently all season. But last season, he was just even better.
Yeah, he just, it's
Right.
not this, it's
well,
just
let's
like,
look at the target numbers here. Like, it looks pretty similar, honestly. Although there are a couple 2-4 target games.
To Joe's point, though,
yeah,
the Lions are running a lot more, and they're absolutely boat racing people, so they pull starters pretty frequently.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
they're the top team in the NFC,
late.
Right? Like, I think unquestionably they're the top team in the NFC.
The Lions are unironically the best team in NFL right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean,
I don't think you can make an argument for any other team being better than the Lions right now.
I disagree.
No,
I don't
but
disagree. I think that the top. This is actually. So, who do you think the third best team in the NFC is? Behind Detroit and Philadelphia, right? As top 2.
I was going to say Philadelphia,
but I think Philadelphia is number 2, right? Who would be number 3?
Falcons. No,
I know. When I was asked this question, I was so tempted to go Packers, but I don't think that's necessarily true.
The Packers.
No.
Jordan Love is not.
He's not quite there this year. He's farving it up a little too much. Yeah, he looks.
He's got a little too much. He's got too much of the Geno thing, where it's like, I have a strong enough arm to make this throw, and so I will take risks that are unnecessary
to do it. Yeah, absolutely.
In coverage where I probably shouldn't, and I will absolutely throw the worst pick you've ever seen
and regret it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's actually the Packers. I definitely don't think it's the Falcons.
Vikings.
The Vikings are actually one of my picks. I think it's either the Vikings or the Buccaneers as the number 3 team.
I don't agree with the Buccaneers at all. I actually think the Seahawks are better than the Buccaneers.
I disagree.
And the Falcons. I think the Falcons are better than the Buccaneers.
Oh, hell no.
The Falcons suck.
The Falcons suck.
They're better than the Buccaneers.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not. No, they're not. The Buccaneers have a way better defense than the Falcons.
The Buccaneers secondary is the worst thing I've ever seen. It's so bad. What do you mean?
The Antoine Winfield Jr.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
That's one player.
Yeah,
that's enough.
Their defense gets cooked every single week.
That's fine. It doesn't matter because
it doesn't make them better.
They're not going to win a championship, but
they're definitely not.
It doesn't matter because the Falcons don't have a pass rush, which is more important.
That is true. That is true.
Absolutely.
But overall,
the Falcons do not have a front 7. It's more important. I mean,
my point is that they're definitely not the third best.
I think it's probably the Vikings. I mean, with the way Flores' defense has been playing, Lions, Eagles, Vikings, which I hate to say. Like, I hate putting the Vikings in number 3, but like, I do think that it's because of Brian Flores' defense. That's it. Bottom line.
Well, and they have the best play in the NFL.
Right. Throw the ball to Justin Jefferson. Yeah.
Like, that's the best.
We'll get to him, but he's been getting covered. No, he's just getting fucking destroyed by coverages. We'll get to him though.
Yeah, we will.
But the one last thing probably with it is with Jordan's team from last year is just like Rachaad White is just not a check down merchant anymore.
Nope.
Like Bucky Irving has
completely eaten his role. Like
Still has another year on his contract, so it'll be really interesting to see what they do. But it's most likely going to be more of this two-headed monster stuff.
Yeah,
which
the
is going to
Chimera.
the upside of both, which is fine for real football, and they're going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we all agree that Sean Tucker is the chicken head of the Chimera, right?
For sure.
Of that particular Chimera.
With an injury, though, he immediately becomes really important. So
right, exactly.
Jordan,
Rachaad White is the lion head. Bucky Irving's the goat head. And Sean Tucker chicken head on that particular chimera.
All right, so we talked about
We had Matt and
these
Josh. Is that the
three.
bottom?
So now we'll do Ben.
Yeah, we'll go
and
up
Kelsey.
up from there.
Yep.
I mean, let's just talk about Saquon for a little bit because that's
Oh
fun.
my god.
Oh my fucking god. MVP.
It's like I was saying in our
MVP.
chat. This must be what it was like watching. Prime. I wasn't aware enough to watch like Prime Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith, and
This is an Adrian Peterson prime like season
This is
for
like, I was
Saquon.
gonna say, this is like AP shit where it's just
this
like
is it's ridiculous. It just feels inevitable.
Insane.
Every single time he's lined up in the backfield.
I'm
it's just
so scared this week of Saquon.
He's getting 6. He's getting 6 here. He's getting 6. He's getting 5. Oh, that's a first down. That's the 30-yard run.
I mean, I am very grateful that this is the week I did not take the 200+ yard game to the face. Like,
yeah,
you
like,
needed
somebody else
Glenn.
fucking take that one like straight to the dome.
Yeah,
like, my God.
Unfortunately, this comes at a very inopportune time for Kelsey because she desperately needed a win this week, like really, really badly. This might have knocked her out.
I actually think that this probably eliminates Kelsey.
I mean,
The only way a 7-7 team is going to make it into the playoffs is by a points record and like a points tiebreaker, and I don't think Kelsey's team is there in terms of points to match anybody tiebreaker wise. She's bottom third of the league in points right now, points for. So, yeah, I think this is likely it for Kelsey.
Yeah, unfortunately for her, this is just she could have beat Ben. I mean, 195 points is a lot, but she's had a lot of really big games this season.
You take Saquon out of this, they're basically even.
Exactly. It's kind of like me last week against Taysom Hill. It's like you take the 50 burger out, and it's actually a really close game.
It's a really close game. Yeah, you put a different running back in there that scores 10. It's a much
Saquon
different
had like
look.
a mortal game, like a game that a mortal would have, a normal person.
70 instead of almost 200. I mean,
let's say that he got his production. It's still well within.
Yeah,
I mean that's a 30 point. Yeah, it's still pretty bad.
That's actually the most surprising thing is the Seahawks run defense actually looked competent.
They came up for once. Yeah. We talked about this one.
8 carries for 7 yards. Wrong game, but
Well, hold on. This is what I wanted to point out about fucking projections. Christian McCaffrey is projected at 22.44 after doing nothing all season and being hurt.
Yeah.
And then you have Saquon, which is projected at 0.1 points more. Yeah, 22.63.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Come on.
Fix your shit, sleeper.
Yeah. Projections
should
are
be
bullshit.
down in the 15-point range at this point.
The one thing that I would be worried about for Ben looking at this is Montgomery. Because
oh, didn't he get a significant injury?
He had a knee injury, right? Or shoulder.
Yes. And Dan Campbell knows that he can lean on Gibbs.
Right.
And give Montgomery time to rest, and since they're such a they're an obvious lock for the playoffs,
yep,
I think it's very likely that he doesn't get the kind of volume that you would want from a number one, because Demo's still the number one, whatever.
Yeah, you need Ben is not the hospital boys, but
just a shoulder.
Wiping the floor.
No other info.
Shoulder, yeah. I think it was I want to say it was an AC joint or something. It was a weird hit.
Yeah.
I think took him out. Honestly, the Lions are too good, and why just when you don't need to run somebody into the ground, why?
Just don't. I mean, Dan Campbell being a player's coach is likely going to preserve some of that. And I think he would be more likely to rest Montgomery, knowing that they have Gibbs and all the other tremendous weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than Saquon going off, Ben really had a pretty pedestrian
week. Yeah.
Except for Nakobe Dean.
And Leonard Floyd.
Yeah.
And Leonard Floyd went off.
Yeah.
The Eagles just smoked the Rams. That was so fun to watch as an NFC West stan. It's yes, fuck the Rams.
Yep.
And then it made the Seahawks loss against the Rams earlier this season just feel so bad because they just
we lost to these Rams.
The Rams look so bad. Couldn't muster a 4th down in overtime, running it 4 times in a row. Anyway,
I think you got for the Seahawks. You just got to feel that like the coaching change didn't turn you into the Patriots, which is a win.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah,
could have totally happened.
I gotta
absolutely.
say, my thing going into this season with Mike McDonald as a Seahawks fan has been the only thing I expected from him this season was to play our division rivals close, and so far he's 2 for 2. So, or two of 4, I should say.
Or 2
So he's got
and
a few-
2.
2 and 2.
2 and 2, yes, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's great. If you could split,
Yeah,
if you have
I'm
an
happy
even
with
split
that
on
moment.
division games, and if you've split them down the middle per opponent too, like beat the Cardinals, lose to the
Seahawks
Cardinals,
are
beat the
currently
Rams,
first
lose
in
to
the
the
NFC
Rams.
West.
Yeah,
They're top of the NFC West again.
thanks
so,
to this week.
I
Someone's
can't
gotta
hate.
be on top of shit mountain.
Yeah.
Like,
I am curious though. Was Trevor freaking out about Mike McDonald this weekend, or was he?
He was relatively
Happy
tame
about
on
the
the
defense.
McDonald front.
no,
he didn't like it.
Very mad.
He was mad. He was
He
very
wasn't, like-
mad, but he wasn't
he
being
mad about,
outrageous.
like, he was mad about like the general, just like
It was the
state Seahawks.
it's the
There was
tackling.
not one positive
That's
thing.
fair.
It's the tackling.
Like,
It's always the tackling, and the Pee Wee team can tackle better than the Seahawks.
I will say the changes that Mike McDonald made that were scorched earth, just literally ejecting Tyrell Dodson and then trading away Jerome Baker mid-season, and then fixing it with getting Ernest Jones, which I think is a baller trade. Even though we gave up a fourth, we need to pay that man and keep him on the team.
Mm-hmm.
He's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tyrese Knight has been disciplined and pretty solid.
He looks like a really good developmental prospect for you
He's
guys.
like the Patrick Queen in the system. You got Ernest Jones, who's the Roquan, and then Tyrese Knight is basically playing that Patrick Queen role, and he's doing good. So Mike's turning around. I'm not all in on Coach Mike, but I'm happy with what I'm seeing.
I think the most important thing for the Seahawks is that you're seeing improvement game over game, right? You're seeing everything get better, and that's exactly what you want to see from a first-year head coach. Is they're figuring it out and they're getting it together.
That it was just like the team was never going to be good unless they figured out the linebacker position. Like the most important thing of the Mike McDonald system is having linebackers, because you can't simulate pressure without them.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just not possible. It's not.
You also can't stop the fucking run without linebackers.
Without a good linebacker. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like I wasn't ever sold on Jerome Baker or Tyrell Dodson, but like I wouldn't have expected what we've seen from Tyrese Knight. I have expected Ernest Jones to look the way he has. Like he has always been that player. The Rams like got another one somehow and let him walk. Like I guess like whatever, dude.
Rams doing Rams.
Yeah.
Anyway, as we talk about, Ben's matchup, known Seahawks fan, on the other side, on Kelsey's side, I would I gotta bring up Rico Dowdle again. I'm hurting after that trade, even though I like the return that I got, and I think that Kelsey was filling a need there. I'm hurting as a result, like I said.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Zeke is even still getting carries at this point. Rico Dowdle just looks
way better,
far and away better.
Way better.
Than Zeke at this point.
The reason Zeke is getting carries is the same reason Aaron Jones wasn't in that particular era of the Mike McCarthy Packers. Just absolute running back mismanagement.
Yeah, mismanagement. I remember the free Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I mean, it was Jamal Williams was ahead of him.
Right? That was the Matt Berry thing, right?
Yeah, Matt Berry was on the free Aaron Jones training for sure.
That was his hashtag. Honestly, I think he started it.
I picked him up when he was I think his rookie season, and he was just kind of sitting there, and he was suspended, I think, for PEDs or something.
No, for weed.
For weed.
For weed.
That's right.
He was smoking weed.
I traded him to use.
Yeah, because I was like, this man is a Green Bowl Packer. Get him on my team. Yeah.
Anyway, yep. I think that pretty much wraps up this.
This matchup.
Else to say.
No, nothing new there. All right, me and Casey.
We got two more.
Oh my God, I am still sweating this matchup. I will be sweating this matchup until tomorrow morning when
we might actually have to retcon this episode because
fuck
the run that Justice Hill made. So just
dude, that was
let's rewind.
I called that too, Steve.
Yeah,
I totally called that.
You did. So, you did.
Steve's sitting there with his podcast cans and he's watching the game, and he sees J.K. Dobbins walking to the locker, or limping to the locker room, as it were, and then ruled questionable. And Steve's like, "I might have a chance.
Yeah,
this might be my week.
I might be okay. I might not. It might not be a nail biter."
Late in the game, Justice Hill, not Derrick Henry, Justice Hill breaks a massive 55-yard touchdown or whatever, 40-yard touchdown.
51-yard touchdown run. He had 4 yards the entire fucking game up until that point, and just blasts out.
Were you sitting there and you were watching that game? Did you, after you saw that run, you knew that he had him, but did you check to see if he actually put him in his active lineup as a starter?
No. I knew from before the game. I was like, Derrick Henry, chugga, like that entire game, and then like the one fucking snap that he actually gets rested significantly for, the biggest hole in the entire fucking universe, like a black hole opens up in the Chargers defense, and Justice Hill is sucked in for the touchdown, and I was just going like, oh my fucking God. Like,
yeah, because
it wasn't even a flip, it was a handoff. Like, I'm like, could I get points for that? Maybe, like, just give Lamar shovel pass the ball so I get points for that, or whatever. Like,
you're watching this and you're like, oh, I'm good because Casey unironically is playing
that's the hill he died on. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just. It might be the hill I die on now, Casey.
I'm secretly rooting for the stat correction just because I think of that. I love chaos.
I am
as of right now.
Look, so
no stat corrections posted.
Nothing's posted yet. I am hopeful that I am safe because I am just over 1 point higher. That 0.08.
I think you got to be worried about Casey.
No. I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like there's probably a stat correction here, but I'm hoping that it is a solo tackle or a half tackle or something. PDs have been missed. Worry,
Steve.
Yeah,
Leonard Williams had the game of his life.
I know.
He had an out-of-body experience.
He
was going crazy.
Absolutely bananas.
Yeah.
Casey's players all went off that needed to keep this game competitive after it really seemed like it wasn't going to be for a long time. But yeah, I'm still sweating
Steve,
bullets.
Your triple tight end gambit is
jumbo package, baby.
Hamstringing you.
I should have played Noah Brown actually, but even then,
which is funny.
Yeah, it's very funny. I probably
would have played Vele.
Vele has been a lot better than Noah Brown, but like either of those two dudes would have given me an extra point or two. Because
Brown, like he's out targeted Terry McLaurin.
Yeah,
the last weeks.
He has. Vele has been really strong.
So
coming in,
I read on Reddit that, or it was like a news article. Well, I saw it through Reddit. That Devon Vele actually was the reason why he's so old as a rookie is because he took 2 years in college to do a mission because he's Mormon or something.
Oh, well,
so I was like, why is this dude 26? And he's
that makes sense. What? Yeah, Vele being on a mission totally makes sense. That tracks. I'm gonna have to change his name to Church of Jesus Christ of Later Season Pickups or something like that. To account for his Mormonness, yeah. But yeah, this was one of my my kind of scary bye weeks with Brees and Brian Thomas on bye, so I'm happy to also be scared this sneak out. I'm so scared.
Brees is not
not looking good. Yeah, with that knee injury is not great.
He's hurt again.
He's got a knee injury. Yeah, he picked something up near the end of last week.
Bust Edwards.
Bust Edwards. Get on the bust.
You're RB1.
Yeah.
Why does Casey still have Chase Claypool? What is going on?
At this point,
it's
despite me.
It's a totem. It's a totem.
I guess it's because you called him out on it, but that's like a valuable.
Dude, after that podcast episode, everyone has tripled down on all the players I was talking shit about.
Well,
half of them got named stuff to like Scott Scraps and like Scott's favorite player and blah blah blah.
I will say you have to take an L on at least this week for Chig, just because he had a 70-yard touchdown run.
Oh, I don't care about his 70-yard broken coverage bullshit. His track record speaks for itself. You're still dropping him.
Oh yeah, he's terrible.
You're gonna draft a tight end.
You're not wrong about Noah Brown either. I mean,
I actually am not sure if I'm gonna.
He's done literally just enough to keep him on this roster, except he's inconsistent.
He's like a Nelson Aguilar type, where he's just been in the league for like a million years and has made millions and millions of dollars, so just being an RB4,
right,
or a wide receiver 4.
Yeah, exactly. Good for him.
Depth guy.
Glad he got paid.
He's like your Jake Bobos. They're just gonna be around forever.
Yep.
And they're just not ever fantasy relevant, but
blocking.
Fantasy isn't important.
They're just blockers. They're just blockers in the run game.
Yep.
They're outside blockers.
Yeah, this bye week for both of you was brutal.
Brutal as hell.
The Falcons being out, it was honestly pretty even as a result of the players that both of you rostered for, the bye week.
Yeah, look at this offensive garbage.
Casey
here.
doesn't have Bijan. He doesn't have
right. Didn't have Mooney.
Darnell Mooney, who's been a mainstay in his roster all season. No doing his best. Or trying his best, Josh Allen.
Right. I mean, missing out on Judon is big too, honestly. Like, he's been pretty solid all year long. Has
he? I don't know. No, he's not. He's been trash. And the Falcons fans would agree with you. He's been really disappointing.
I don't know what they were thinking, honestly, because Judon's never been a sack guy. Like, he doesn't create sacks. He cleans up sacks. Like, that's his deal.
The Falcons need to spend a draft pick in the first round on an edge. That's what they need to do.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, yes. They probably should have taken Jared Verse, but hindsight's 2020. And Michael Penix is still such an unknown. You can't say it was bad yet. You can just say it's stupid.
Still like the pick. Still been trying to finagle him off of Jordan's roster. Still haven't been able to do it. He's got an iron grip around
a big peanut.
Michael Penix. Around the big Penix.
Yeah, the big Penix. And then he's really gripping onto it. Yeah.
I gotta say though, going forward, Casey is looking like he's a possible playoff contender. This week is going to be pretty
critical.
Much make or break for him. He absolutely needs a win this week. But Tyreek Hill has been really kind of not good this season.
Out for personal reasons on Tuesday.
Debo's been terrible.
Debo has clearly lost a step.
He's just actively playing hurt. Both of them are actively playing hurt. We can say that they're bad or they've lost a step, but they're both playing through shit. And it's you can't if you're playing through something, you're just not
going to be as good. Yeah.
I actually be willing to guess that the reason Tyreek, his personal reason, is because of the incident with the police week 1.
Oh.
That's actually apparently the reason why his wrist is fucked up is because of that arrest, not anything football related.
I did hear that too.
The cop manhandled him and hurt his wrist.
Yep, exactly.
I believe that.
So I totally believe that. Legal proceeding, because they actually ended up firing or putting the guy on leave, the officer that did that.
If you look at the tape,
the body cam tape is really telling that was an overuse of power.
Yeah, that cop was being a dick.
And was being a dick to other Dolphins team members too. Yeah, exactly.
He was just racially profiling like a Lambo.
Or was a Patriots fan.
Yeah, or a Patriots fan. For sure.
Probably both.
Either way, he was racially profiling a dude, and then when teammates came up, that whole situation's fucking bad. Fucking bad.
Not a great dude, but also he definitely got racially profiled.
And doesn't deserve that. Doesn't deserve that. Nobody does.
He deserves to get shit on in a football game because he's an asshole.
Sure.
But he's just really good at football, so it's hard to do.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. You did see that the charges against him got dropped, though, right? So he doesn't have any like pending legal proceedings as a result of that arrest.
I'm sure something will happen in the offseason. He'll punch one of his 8 girlfriends that he's got pregnant or whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. Or he'll punch a new one. You never
know.
Does he still have more kids than touchdowns on the season? That's the new Russell Wilson bathroom watch.
Yes, he does.
Absolutely. Only 3 touchdowns on the season, so.
Yeah. He's got like a billion kids, so yeah.
Yeah, he's got like 15, 16 kids.
Tua tried to tackle someone with his face and really destroyed Tyreek Hill, and then the cop. Like, it's just been a lost season for Tyreek. I think
it's been bad news for the Dolphins. I hope that they, as a team, can get it together, but not this week.
Not this week.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to play in the playoff.
Yeah, I want the Packers to play in the playoffs too. So.
Wait.
Packers Dolphins at Lambeau, 5:20 Thanksgiving night.
I think Packers smash the Dolphins because
it's supposed to be
play in the cold
below 30 degrees. So yeah.
Did you hear what
Tua was saying about that?
No. So Coach Mike was saying that he was gonna carry ice cubes in his pocket and throw them at the players.
Dude, I love him. He's so funny. That dude's hilarious.
Yeah, that dude's great.
Yeah, I mean, with what he's no longer it seems that he's been figured out in terms of like his offensive scheme or whatever, but I hope he keeps his job. I really enjoy him.
He's really fun.
I don't even know if it's like it's the figured out the offensive scheme.
It might just be the lack of Tua.
The offensive line is horrible.
That too.
It's just basic football stuff. It's the offensive line, and like, if you don't have like Tyreek and Waddle have just had bad seasons. Like
Waddle went off this week, but yes,
I mean, it's the chick thing you just brought up. It's like, cool, you had one good game. Like,
but
now everyone's gonna say you for a month, and you're gonna lose people in their weeks.
I mean,
GG, bro. Get your bag.
I'm just realizing now that the biggest lost points in my entire lineup is not starting Jaden Daniels over Lamar Jackson.
That's a really Steve.
That would be stupid to do.
That plan, that your start sit decision between do I play the QB1 or the QB2? Get out of here.
I know.
Yeah. Especially like if you would have watched 3 quarters of football, you've been like, oh, this was a terrible decision, and then
yeah.
I will say I'm happy for you, Steve. You were in the doldrums.
I was deep in the shit last year.
Your team needed a Jaden
like
Daniels
a phoenix. I have arisen.
Yeah.
And I'm a serious contender for playoffs this year, given that I don't lose 2 matches. If I go 1-1, I'm likely in the playoffs this year, which is pretty good for a rebuild.
The other player I wanted to bring up in this matchup is Jatavian Sanders is emerging along with Bryce Young, which is really good to see. We need more, good tight ends.
Good tight ends are good for the league.
Players on teams. I'm not going to say good team because the Panthers are terrible. But
the Panthers needed something to emerge for them.
Jatavian Sanders looks like he flashes whenever he is running routes, and just the catches he's making are like, that's a rookie.
I think Thielen coming back has been really good for him too, because it's drawing some of the attention off of him, and it's kind of spreading around the defensive attention in a way that just benefits the entire team.
Yeah.
So that's good for Carolina in a lot of ways.
And Jatavian Sanders, like, as much as we want to talk about like all the tight end whatever, it's like I think it's always worth a shot on like, just the pass catching tight ends that are athletic. Like, one of them is going to hit and you'll just end up with like a bunch of Noah Fants, like where they like look good, but like they're never used.
Right.
But like one of those guys, like, I mean, those are the guys. Like, not everybody's going to be Brock Bowers. Not everybody's going to be, Kelsey. But
right.
Yeah, or even Mark Andrews. Like,
yeah. Damn you, Todd Monken.
One thing I will say is that Bo Nix has really kind of come online. He's still not good, but he's getting
it's
better.
funny because the week we were talking hella shit about Bo Nix and the Broncos in general, since then they've been
come
basically
so good. Yeah, they've
basically
come
the
up.
best team in football. Like they're playing that well.
They're
it's
coming.
Insane.
They've been playing really well. I mean,
that defense is nasty.
It's so
that
good.
Being said,
Vance Joseph does a massive class.
We are talking about games against the Panthers and the Falcons, and so like
yeah, that's true.
Couch it in that for a sec.
That's true.
Hold up. The game against
Vegas.
Remember the Chiefs game? They almost won that. They just got the field goal blocked. They
did. They almost
at the time undefeated.
They almost beat the undefeated Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't care. It's the Chiefs, man. Like the whole thing with the Chiefs is, Patrick Mahomes is good. That's it. They don't got nothing else. Even Chris Jones is like running off the edge, and it's like, oh, we could just double him because like you're not going to give coverage.
Nobody else is.
It's like L'Jarius Sneed isn't there, and like you're forcing Trent McDuffie to like take on
go into coverage
50 pounds heavier than him.
No way.
The Chiefs are just not scary, dude. They're not.
Right now, they're kind of like LeBron James, like the comment he made about coasting in the regular season. They look like that. Once they hit playoffs, I'm sure they're going to lock in and look like the Super Bowl winning team that they are. But right now, they look like frauds. They look like a first round bounce, like a upset, a team against like the 8th seed or whatever.
I would be so happy if they were a first round bounce. I think it would just send
8-6 seed.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that would be good for the NFL in the long run.
Honestly, for the NFL, the three-peat, they want them. They want the three-peat.
I hate
dynasties
for everyone who isn't a Chiefs fan.
No, Dynasty brings in fans. Like it grows the game. Like no matter what it's sport, like having continuity of greatness, like builds the game. Just because it brings people in.
The average fan is watching the Bundle-Rooski commercial, and they think that's funny because it's the one game they've watched all season, and then they're like, "Who's that?" And then they see, "Oh, that's Patrick Mahomes. I've heard of him." And then they become Chiefs fans.
Taylor Swift's boyfriend's team.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's Taylor Swift's boyfriend's quarterback or whatever. And I get it. It still drives me fucking crazy, and it's turned me into a Chiefs hater.
Just remember, like the most important thing to remember about any sport is like all sports content and all sports narratives are not for you. Like
that's
you are the least important thing in.
You are the product.
Yeah,
you are the product.
You're not. Like your needs will never be met. You're already here.
I hate Kansas City. I have not liked them for a long time.
I liked them when they were the underdog before the first Super Bowl. I was like super pumped about because I was like, man, that's awesome.
Well, it was
such a cool story. But at this point, the ref favoritism and then all the annoying media bullshit it's just made me annoyed. And the fact if they were playing lights out, I would love them. I would because it's fun to watch. But like
right now, crap.
Just like they play like crap, and they still get all the love and all the ref bullshit, and it just drives me crazy. I just want to play well, just like play.
Yeah,
like,
please just
below everyone. If they look like the Lions, I'd be like, hell yeah, Chiefs are awesome. But they're playing like dick.
Yeah. They're also getting too cute in the draft, and so I just have less and less faith that they're going to be able to sustain.
It's hard to like nail draft picks when your draft position is like
30.
No. 30th, 32nd. Like, they're just winning.
You know what they could have done? They could have just like taken Ladd McConkey and not Xavier Worthy. They could have done that. Like that's what I would have done because like I don't believe in because I believe in bigger, faster, stronger, and Xavier Worthy is only one of those. Like,
I feel like you're kind of rewriting history. It's like that's a hindsight 2020 sort of thing now because yes, Ladd McConkey is by yards I think the number one rookie.
I'm just gonna not take the L on Ladd McConkey ever. Like I believe he was like it should like
you were boosting him from the beginning. It's true.
Like outside of just the physical freak of Brian Thomas, like he was the one player or the one wide receiver in the class. I was like, all right, there's no way he's gonna fail. There's a 0% chance he will fail, and I'm never taking the L on him. Like,
sure. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with your take because I like Ladd McConkey over Worthy, but it wasn't close, or it was close for me. It was like either if I'm sitting in the draft and if Ladd McConkey and Xavier Worthy were available, I would have taken Ladd McConkey. But if Ladd McConkey was taken, I instantly pick up Worthy. at that spot.
I would have taken the L there if he was gone, because my next player probably would have been like Jalen Polk if I needed a wide receiver, and that is not good. So
Actually, the way that
That
the draft
has
fell, I would have
turned
taken
bad.
BTJ regardless, but because I was really high on him. My strategy to trade back and hoping he would still be there after Steve failed. That's how I ended up with Ricky Parasol. So
Who hasn't been
Anyway.
awful, at least.
I mean, it's not looking
Inconsistent,
good. The Niners,
but not awful.
The Niners are so bad.
Yeah, they're
It's-
having a bad year,
was
and I'm
not
here
expecting-
for it.
I was not expecting them to be so awful.
yeah. Well,
All right, John.
yeah.
This is our last matchup of last week, right?
I might have sealed John's fate.
I think you did.
Sorry, man.
I may have.
Yeah.
Likely.
I'm sorry about Noah Gray. What the fuck is this? Four touchdowns in 2 weeks.
Well, you know what it is. It's they got nobody else. And Travis Kelsey just looks like he just a zombie right now.
Actually, Travis Kelsey had a really good game. The thing is, though, is that Travis Kelsey was covered. Like Carolina sold out to stop Travis Kelsey.
They
Which
said
is what
beat us some other way.
I don't understand why other teams haven't done this and made this their
Well, I mean,
primary
that's-
thing. Because
that's
it's like
what-
every time I watch a Chiefs game, it's like they're covering their garbage wide receivers, and then it's always Travis Kelsey over the middle with 300 yards in every direction. No one, like, how is no linebacker picking that up ever? And
Yeah.
it's just like check down after throw over the middle or whatever. And it's like,
I mean, that's
But
how
then
Buffalo beat
they
him.
actually covered him, and then Noah Gray was actually getting open. Granted, his volume isn't like insane or anything. He just was in the right place at the right time, and he's caught 4 touchdowns over the last 2 weeks as a result of it.
Was this the best game of his career?
Yeah,
Probably.
of course. I don't think he's really done anything. I mean, he's been a good.
He's been in.
tight end.
He's been in the stuff, but
that was his
easily.
career. That was a career game.
That's his
which
career
is
game. Yeah.
incredibly annoying because this happens to me all the time. So I totally understand John like getting really upset with
It's
that.
like, what the
second
fuck, Noah
touchdown.
Gray? Yeah.
Even I was just like, are you kidding me? You got 2 again?
That's crazy. That's
It's
just
also
crazy.
in a game where like they shouldn't have needed Noah Gray. Like, it's the Panthers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they made it close. They went to overtime.
Yeah.
Well, and Noah
I mean,
Gray.
Bryce Young had a game. Like,
He did.
Bryce
That was the
Young
best
looked
game of
like,
his career.
Looked like a number 1 overall pick against
It-
like defending champion. You know.
We
Noah
saw
Gray's
what we
2
thought he would
touchdowns,
be.
probably 8 Xavier Worthy's like targets there, and maybe that will have won me my game.
Maybe. But
That's wild.
yeah, it went from being just a bye week Phil to I'm gonna be the Noah Gray. Like, sorry, you're
No longer a meme, guys.
No longer a beam. He's Targ's friend. Yeah. You're
uh,
a Gray booster now.
Joe's tight end. For what's his name?
Ferguson?
Oh,
The tight end that you.
Wait,
Jake Ferguson?
No. You drafted what you thought would be the heir apparent tight end in Kansas City.
Oh,
Jared
what's his name?
Wiley.
Wiley.
Wiley. Yeah. Isn't he all night? Didn't he like break his leg or something?
Like pretty
ACL.
early. Yeah.
ACL toe. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think he's kind of done. Partly because I think he's also like as old as Noah Gray. So like
Yeah.
not good.
Not great.
Yeah. He was like an older player coming out of TCU. Which is kind of why I like he'll
Maybe.
know more how to play the position. Like, he's a pass catcher. Like, that was the whole thing with him. Nope. Just a bad pick.
So this was hilarious.
Playing Elijah Moore against you.
Oh yeah, again, speaking of
The Scott Scraps.
players
Yeah.
from the Scrap Heap episode being played against me and being trolled by them. That was one. Did you guys see this? So
This is the George Pickens thing.
this is the
Yeah,
George.
Just,
So this is
just getting in a fight at the end.
so this is the Hail Mary at the very end of the game to try and win it. And instead of being in the play, George Pickens decides to choose violence and just like fight this DB out. So he just pulls him out the back of the end zone and just starts. It's not even like
What
try.
the fuck? George, what?
This dude is like,
Why are
he's
you?
so funny.
He's
His
probably the
attitude is
best.
just-
He's probably the best chance to get that ball caught,
But no, instead
Yeah,
he pulls the DB out
and
of the
he's
back of
just
the end
putting
zone and
himself
starts
out of
fighting
the play. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
him. This dude
just
is nuts.
Fucking
He's
ass.
nuts, dude.
I mean, this is why like they jettisoned Deontay Johnson, is because you can't have more than one of these guys on any team.
No.
If you've got 2 head cases, your team is bad. If you've got 1 head case, you could be a great team.
What
The
is
thing
it?
is,
What is it
George
with
Pickens has been-
Pittsburgh and like those fucking wacko wide
It's like
receivers?
Casey. It's like Casey. They got to type. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
yeah.
They got to type.
No
I mean,
kidding.
You know, you know.
This year in the draft, the idea was they were gonna replace Deontay Johnson with Roman Wilson, because Roman Wilson was like the same
Right.
type of profile player, but like had
calmer.
a work ethic and was
Yeah.
like like a guy that wasn't a head case.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
he's had injury issues.
Injury
so,
issues are a problem no matter what.
yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, the Daniel Hunter had a game, and they
He
ended
had
up
the game of
losing.
it, the game of his life.
That game was also probably like one of the most insane games of the season.
I had a lot of fun watching that Texans-Titans game. Like,
That was a Houston, we have a problem. They had that
yeah.
disaster missed field goal, and then they
man.
they could not tackle Turpin on that 99-yard touchdown. That pretty much iced the game.
that was not that was
then they-
Turpin's on Dallas.
Yeah, Turpin's
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They couldn't, or I'm sorry.
Tennessee dude.
Tennessee,
Yeah,
That was the
Who the
game.
fuck was that?
Yeah, that was the
It was the
Chig. I just jumped the
Chigakonkwo.
rail.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was all crazy.
Yeah.
But
You're
this
right.
game-
No, but you're right though, because Turpin did do the same thing last week, the week before against Houston.
he's been getting a lot of those.
Yeah,
I fat.
I picked him up. I'm thinking about it, but because I love a returner, I love bonus points, but
Yeah.
Oh, you
he's
picked
just-
him? I thought.
I grabbed him. Yeah, he
you
he
got
was
him?
on my
Okay.
roster for like about 10 minutes this morning before I realized I was in fucking IR hell.
Yeah.
So
Reed Blankenship had like a knee thing during this game. I would be worried about that going forward.
Oh,
Yeah,
did he? I wonder
yeah.
why. I saw a lot of milk check going on in this
yeah,
game.
DeJean had a big game on account of Blankenship's injury.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Will Levis, back to the Daniel Hunter stuff. Will Levis had another, I think he had another pick six this week, but he's actually been playing better quietly.
It was Lassiter, right? Kamari Lassiter, pick six.
I don't remember, but
I think so.
There's a great stat for Will Levis. He had the most dropbacks with a negative EPA for his entire game, and they still won. And
Holy
it's
shit.
like once every 10 years, like QB does that. Russ had it last, like that was the last one to do it. And
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah. It's like your team is worse when you're throwing the ball, but you win anyway.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And in fantasy, Will Levis has been better than CJ Stroud. Like Stroud has been one of the most disappointing fantasy players this entire year.
Well, that's
Like,
because their
yeah.
offensive line is really gross, and he's
Yeah,
getting
that and like the
Bobby Slowick has also been
Tennessee
questionable.
Tennessee's also got one of the best defenses. Like Joe Mixon was a complete bust this week for Trevor because Tennessee just like absolutely.
Oh, their
stopped
run
the
game,
run.
is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
They can stop the run for sure. Their secondary.
Yo, what's up, Trevor?
It's lunchtime hot takes. What's going on?
Ah,
Hey.
hot
All right,
takes, hot
give us your
takes.
hottest
Let's
take.
go.
We're almost done with the episode.
Yeah.
So give us your hottest take of
Yeah.
the week. A score.
Oh my God! I don't know the hottest take.
Yeah, well, give us a few at least.
According to Joe, my hottest take of the night was that the Seahawks defense is absolute garbage, and that we only have like 2 good defensive players.
Let me guess.
You're
Ernest
not gonna-
Jones.
Huh?
Ernest
Nope.
Jones, right?
Nope, that wasn't on the
No.
list.
No.
That wasn't on the
No.
list.
You're not going to get these,
No.
which is you're
Yeah.
not going to get both of these. You'll
Jenna?
get one of them probably. No.
Shenna? He's not even playing.
Nope.
Yeah.
Love? Do you like him?
He does like him, but that's not the player.
Nope.
Oh
That
yeah,
wasn't-
wait. I did add him. Yeah,
Okay,
I
good.
did
Julian
add him.
Love
He's
got
been-
added. Yeah.
Witherspoon.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You were
There's
going to get
one.
him. There's no way you weren't going to get him.
Yep.
So is that the one? Okay, so I got the bonus. I got the bonus round, and
Wait,
then
I think
got one. of
no.
them.
Was there 4 then? Because there's 2 more.
Leo,
There's 2 more.
Leonard
Huh?
Williams.
Leonard
Leonard
Williams, I think, was on the list.
He was a
Yeah.
beast. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Hell yeah.
One
I think
more.
you got him. Yeah.
There's
that-
one more.
Oh, there's one more.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's fucking super obvious.
I mean, Byron Murphy didn't really play. I thought
No.
Ernest Jones has been really good.
I'll just say this: he's
Kobe?
the only player that I'm hot for that isn't even really that amazing. But and I'm terrible at picking people in this position.
Yeah. So it's Kobe Turner, or
No,
Kobe Bryant.
No.
Kobe Bryant.
He's sick. I actually gained some respect for him during that game because that pick
Six. Yeah. It was
fucking.
Yeah,
Nice,
we
solid.
we talked
But
earlier
no,
about
it's
the
fucking
celebration.
Rick Woolen, dude.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was. I'm surprised you didn't get that one. That was like a real obvious one.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Reek Woolen.
He's been really hot and cold. He's been pretty good in
This year he's
coverage.
been super hot and cold, but this
Yeah.
first year on, dude, he surprised the shit out of me.
Oh yeah, his rookie season, he was literally looking like Richard Sherman out there. That dude was
Yeah,
insane.
there's mini Sherm, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His biggest problem continues to be like he's just not a sound tackler, which makes sense because he's the Sherm.
Yeah,
like he's converted wide receiver. It makes sense,
Right.
but it's like
he was
you're
getting there,
down
and then
to-
this new.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's like
Keep going.
he got hurt. He had that shoulder injury, and so like you just wonder how much of it is just like it's the lack of development from an injury, and also the injury of a shoulder needing to be a part of the tackle. You know.
Right.
Well, my opinion is that he was getting there with Pete and the squad that we had back then, but then this new coach came in with his own defensive coordinators, and they are terrible at teaching tackling. It's like all of their fundamentals got thrown out the window at the beginning of the year.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't do any tackling drills over the summer. They didn't do any sort of like practice around it. It's weird. They look terrible at tackling. All
It's
of
so
them. Not just
hard
that.
too with the new CBA, right? You can't even have as
Yeah.
many padded practices as you can.
Well, you
so
can't have padded
tackle them.
practices, and you can't tackle.
You don't need padded
up to
practices
a
to
certain
teach
point.
fucking tackling, dude.
Well,
Yeah.
you need. There's a certain clause in the new CBA about when you can start tackling, and so they
Right.
just like by contract have less time to work on it.
Yep.
Which
Well, you don't even have to
isn't
call
an
it tackling, but you
excuse,
can call it
but it's
breakdown,
like-
right? So you don't hit each other,
Yeah.
but you do the breakdowns where you run up on somebody, break down, get low, and then tap them in the chest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
even
there's no
just
excuse
describing
for
like
it.
just the mechanics of what coach wants. It's like there doesn't seem to be any preparation there at all, which is extremely frustrating.
None.
Right.
It's
But
terrible.
we talked about it earlier in the podcast,
Yeah,
Trevor.
so I won't harp
how
on it.
The last couple weeks have been I've liked the changes that Coach Mike has done with jettisoning Tyrell Dodson and trading away Jerome Baker,
Mhm.
because bringing in Ernest Jones, they've actually been able to stop the run, and Tyrese Knight is playing disciplined, decent football. So
It's
my
more
whole
than you can
thing
ask for
was the only thing I wanted from our new coach was to play our division close, and so far he's 50-50 on that effort. So
Yeah, I mean,
not happy, but I'm not like ready to. I don't have my pitchfork out yet, basically.
I've had my pitchfork out since the second game. It's so
Oh, I know.
bad. I've never seen tackling that bad since Pee Wee, dude. Like seriously.
Yeah, it was
I've seen
embarrassing.
high school
Earlier
teams
in
that
the
could tackle
season
better. All the kids on
horrible.
Bellevue High School right now, I guarantee you could tackle better than the Seahawks.
It was like, what did we move on from Pete for? What the fuck is this? But I've liked it's good to see improvement. The thing where I'm more worried about is the offense. Ryan Grubb looks like he's in over his head. I think he's going to go back to Kalen DeBoer in college and help him out with his program.
He's not it.
I mean, he is a
It's
college
better
guy,
than
right?
seeing like
So,
it feels like we went from a coach that had 6 plays to a coach that had 4 plays, and he does the same 3 every fucking series on the first 3 downs.
Yeah, that's
So it's
actually
like-
a good. That's actually a good point to bring up because we're talking about my matchup versus John right now. Kenneth Walker they just use him wrong. They're not
so bad.
Yeah, we
They're
talked
not
about it
setting up
earlier.
screens. They're just running him up the gut. They're
not
using
utilizing
way too
his
much
shiftiness.
Charbonnet.
Yeah,
Like, bleh. The run game is horrible.
They should be running I formation or wildcat and sending him through the 3-4 hole and letting him just make space with Sharp. Like,
yeah.
it makes no sense why we
Yeah.
aren't using them like the West Coast running offense that we are.
I see hardly any play action. There's not enough zone run scheme.
Yep.
It's just terrible.
Yep. Steal some of the Shanahan zone runs, 2-back sets.
Well, like,
some of that stuff could
then
easily
again,
fit into
hang
the
on,
system
I will say,
pretty well.
We don't really have the blocking for it. However,
that is true.
We do if we do pulling. So if we pull our guard
Mm-hmm.
and have him slam the fucking tackle, it makes a hole big enough for Walker to get through and find a hole and get space and break through. But that's like the whole point of a small person.
Then you could slam Sharps through there too, and then have him try to hit on the second level and free even more. You know,
the thing is,
no, that's what you're supposed to do. So
yeah,
your guard and your tackle take the defensive end and the linebacker off to the right. Your guard will come in and get either the nose guard or the tackle or the linebacker, whoever stays back and tries to get through the hole. He'll pull and ear hold that guy, and then Charbonnet will come in and pick up the very
second
last
level.
either DB, outside linebacker, whoever else, and that's where they are able to make space and find the safeties. So
they're never doing that though. They never run.
No.
Why are we not rocking Charbonnet? Yeah, why isn't Charbonnet getting rocked like a fullback in these situations? Like, I feel like it really would.
This guy's an East Coaster.
Right.
Yeah. They want to do the smash mouth in your face, up the gut, like.
But it's not like that
wasn't in the Baltimore over the middle either. You know, fucking throws.
Yeah, that's a mess.
This guy's a passing.
Yeah,
this guy likes passing the ball, and Gino's not built for it.
Yeah, it's like we're like 60-40 on pass versus run right now, and it's not. It needs to be the other way around. And clearly, Coach Mike wants that. He wants the Harbaugh hard-nosed running style, just like Pete did, and we're not getting.
I ain't calling that dude coach until he fucking acts like one.
Also, it's just like I just have a fundamental problem with like the idea of the bruising, like the bruising type of back. Like, you're not like, you can, if you get a Derrick Henry, sure, you can do it because it's Derrick Henry, but like for the most part, that's just like the math and the way that like those players work, like don't work anymore. It's just
those guys haven't hit on, you know.
Well, so what you're talking about is a freak of nature. Okay, there's a difference between a fullback and Derrick Henry and Marshawn Lynch, right? So those guys have the qualities of a full and a halfback together. They're fast and they're big and they can knock you out.
Right.
So like those kind of people don't come along very often, and they never will. However, it is proven time and time again, I formation, have a fullback in the front with a fucking halfback behind him, get 5 yards every fucking play, will get you all the way down the field, and you control the clock.
It also seriously tires out that like those are 280-pound defensive linemen. They get tired hitting the ground, getting up.
They're fucking 350 pounds, dude.
Yeah,
they're
huge guys. Yeah,
they get tired. They're on the field that long. No,
that's how you. I mean, shit. We were talking about it with Derrick Henry earlier. Like, that's how Justice Hill's 51-yard run got sprung. You know, like just from tiring out defenders and like blasting these huge holes. It opens up the run game in the long term.
This is also how you open up a play action 70-yard fucking touchdown to DK Metcalf, because they're so used to getting pounded in the face that all of a sudden DK's open and Gino recognizes it before the play starts.
Yep.
Audibles, DK goes down and fucking scores a touchdown. Or JSN or Lockett or fucking Bobo, whoever the fuck, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The Seahawks just look so much better offensively when they're running a 2-minute offense, when they don't have to think and like they're just reacting. It looks so much better.
Because I don't think Gino can do play action. I don't think he can.
I think part of the problem, I agree, is that he doesn't want to be a runner. Like, he really doesn't want to run the ball himself. But he would rather hand it off.
He doesn't have to in play action.
He's too slow.
Needs to be. for a play action pass like that, he just has to be good at faking the handoff. And that's the problem, I think.
Well, no, so you have to
not.
either be A, good at stepping up into the pocket, or B, scrambling. And he's not good at either of those.
Yeah, I mean, right, you do have to move up, but like I think the point of play action is misdirection, right? Like you want to
Right.
get them to bite on the running back so that you open up your wide receivers and like safeties are coming down.
We don't have a sweeper.
But there's no exactly. Like I liked your suggestion
They
on
need to
Sunday
be doing that with Kenneth Walker.
about running Ken Walker or JSN on jet sweeps. Because those would be those guys.
JSN needs to be a jet sweeper.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
We never used Kenny McIntosh.
Kenny McIntosh could do it. He's speedy
He's
like
fast.
that.
That dude is fast.
Yep.
He's just small and he can't fucking block. That's why he doesn't play.
No, that's the perfect.
That's
jet
perfect jet
I know, that's what
sweeps.
I'm
Yeah,
saying.
like
He's a
holy
scat
shit.
back.
That's
He
man.
disappears behind the lineman and they don't know where the fuck he is.
Yeah, it's like where'd the guy go? Oh wait, he's fucking over there at top speed, blusting us on the outside for a zone run, like on the outside zone here.
Ryan
Like
Grubb is just running Charbonnet up the middle for like no gain or 2 yards.
Like,
It's just,
I wish I could stream my screen, but imagine this, right? You're doing a sweep, right? You're coming back this way. He disappears behind the lineman as the ball is being hiked, and that you have him cut back to the right side hole. So he's going right to left as if he's going to come around the edge there. You have the lineman step that way. All the defensive linemen are going to start stepping that way.
Go that way too.
The fucking the outside linebacker's already running that way. You have him do a cut and come back. That dude's fucking breaking free. He's gone.
Yep.
He's gone. If the safety doesn't see it, he's fucked.
Yeah, but actually,
we used to do plays like that all the time when I was a kid.
We don't do that ever.
Honestly, that's nearly the precise play that Justice Hill scored the 51-yarder on. They were all like, there was a big flow, they were going the other way, a cut back, right through the gap, no safety help, bam, housed. Like, shit. That play is seared into my memory if you haven't already noticed. Like,
I didn't even know. I had no idea. I just remember a play that we used to do.
You can't just you have to your game plan has to have those set up so that they bite. Like you can't just run that. That's like kind of a thing.
No,
that,
correct.
Ryan Grubb doesn't do well, and this isn't like a schematic thing. It's like his offense doesn't feel like it's building on each play. Like Ben Johnson for the Lions, everything they do builds on each other.
Yes.
And it all works together into something that sets up another thing. Ryan Grubb doesn't do that. And
I mean, that's a hallmark of a successful NFL offense is being able to build on the things you've done before, having plays that set up other things. Even if you're only going one play at a time, you can still see the forest for the trees and be able to kind of construct an internal narrative to the drive of and that leads defenses a certain way, and you can exploit that. That's one of the strongest things of the Shanahan tree, I think
Ryan
that
Grubb
kind of adjustment.
Belongs in the NFL, but just not now. I think he needs to go. I think he got his cup of coffee. I think he needs to go back to college for a couple years and then get another shot.
I don't think that. I don't think that at all. I think he's not meant for the offense that we have built currently. His plays aren't meant for the players that we have. That's the thing.
The thing is, though, is he's not going to get an opportunity somewhere else as an OC.
No, he needs to adapt and change his plays.
Yeah, which is why I think he needs to go take his experience in the NFL and then go back to college and then build on that. I think it would be Georgia he would go to most likely.
He needs to take the step down and become a different kind of coordinator. He needs to be a passing game coordinator in a more successful offense and learn some of those things in order to, bring up his actual NFL.
I don't know. I just don't. I'm kind of out on him as our OC. I wouldn't hate.
I'm okay with letting them. I hate pulling. As much as I hate our new coaching staff, right? I hate pulling them mid-year at 1 year.
Oh no, yeah.
You got to give them 2 to 3 years before they do anything at all.
Yeah.
I'm with Trevor on this. Especially with the new coaching staff, Mike McDonald's never been a head coach. You can say the jump from college to NFL is a thing, but if you just you can't do the revolving door. You got to stick with it, and you've got to let these guys adapt and grow, because otherwise you're just doing the same thing over and over.
You'll be like Cleveland.
Or New York.
I appreciate that perspective for sure, and I agree with it in principle. However, I think what Trevor said. We have way too many young coaches on the Seahawks who are figuring it out, and we don't need another rookie. Like, we need a veteran offensive coordinator on the Seahawks.
The issue is that we didn't have Pete transition the coach. Mike should have come in as a fucking assistant or a fucking offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator or a quarterback coach or something, been transitioned into the job and then picked better people for the position. The problem is that he brought all this, like,
I don't. You wouldn't get him. You wouldn't get him from Baltimore.
Yeah,
like he wouldn't go from being DC in Baltimore with his guys to a completely unknown situation with a trash defense for no reason. You know.
Yeah.
Like, the reason he's here because he's
unless it's specifically
we're just going
to
through
say
growing
like
pains.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
He's probably better in the long run just to get the pain over with.
Yeah.
Which
honestly, the way that we're the first, the Seahawks are the first in the NFC West. Like, I'll take that. I want a winning team.
What does that really say, though?
I mean,
our
top
fucking
of the trash pile is still
our entire
trash,
division right now is trash.
It is trash. The Cardinals are frauds. We all know this.
Yeah.
The 49ers sucking has been the surprise of the season for me. Like, they are
the Cardinals
horrible.
are frauds. The 49ers on a fucking stretcher.
Like 49 IR.
Life
what are we really
support.
fighting against?
The Rams are like
washed ass
lost.
Rams. Yeah.
Yeah, because they spent too much money. The only player that they have on defense is Jared Verse, and he's a rookie, so they're not paying him shit.
Who's the other kid? Byron
Young
Murphy or whatever. Byron Young. Yeah, he's been good.
Fisk is good.
Yeah, Fisk is good too.
So is Kobe Turner. But
that's it. And then they have that safety Quentin Lake or whatever, and then Kobe Turner's been okay. Like, they have
Quentin
some
Lake
pieces,
is trash.
They lost. You know, a Hall of Fame defensive player.
The Rams' good safety is Cameron Curl. Quentin Lake is garbage.
Did the Rams?
I mean, the Rams are kind of ass.
What was that, Joe?
In general.
Did the Rams get Kitchens? He's a rookie that shows promise.
Yes, I think
That's
so.
Still a rookie. Like,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Rams have, but he's playing cornerback, right?
I thought he was a safety. Could be. It doesn't really matter.
Same fucking thing.
Yeah, rookie.
He's still a rookie.
Yeah.
Well,
let's preview next week real quick, and then we'll wrap this sucker up.
Sounds good.
Wait, do you know what the difference between a safety and a DB is?
Well, a safety is running a rather specific position. DB is going to be a more generalized, right? Like DB.
Wrong. Okay. Wrong. A safety was a DB in high school, and a DB was a wide receiver in high school that couldn't catch a football. Okay, that's it.
You're not wrong.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
It's what Steve would have turned into if he tried to play wide receiver in high school.
Fuck, I would never.
I mean, they did it to what? They did it to fucking Charcoal. They did that to him, dude.
Oh
yeah.
He's like, I'm quitting. Like, why? Because you don't got hands? Fucking.
How's our other boy doing? Donald he was like, wasn't he like Div 2 or something?
He's still playing.
Lineman.
He's still playing. No, he's in D1.
Oh, he's D1. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
We kept telling him we're going to.
Or maybe I'm thinking of
Is he offense or defense?
I can't
remember. I know I'm
thinking of Glock. Maybe I'm thinking of Glock because Glock was actually getting D1 reps. Not reps, but
you're right. We have
requisitions.
We have Donald, Guac, and Charcoal, but Charcoal is a stoner and he quit playing.
Charcoal quit.
Yeah.
He disappointed. He disappointed me.
Your son is so disappointing. Anyway, next week.
Yeah.
I think the key matchups are going to be Casey Casey's playing his sister.
Yeah,
which is
the Owen Bowl.
The Owen Bowl.
I invited both of them to be on the podcast this week in preparation for the Owen Bowl, but neither of them were available. So, rip.
That's okay.
We'll
you're doing it at
Casey
fucking
soon.
12 o'clock on a Wednesday. What do you expect?
I did not expect them to be here.
Yeah.
We're
just here because of the holiday.
Honestly, it's a fucking miracle that the three of us are all here.
It's not a holiday. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. That's a holiday.
Well, I'm off work because my work's weird. And it's like,
yeah, because you're a fucking IT nerd.
Don't come to work. We're tired. I don't know.
Whatever.
Day off.
Anyway,
no one DDoSes on Thanksgiving week.
No Russians don't have the day off.
Me and Ben are in like the match of our playoff lives right here.
This is like the most important match in your fantasy football history, Steve.
Basically,
Against your friend.
yeah, against Ben here. I mean,
Wait,
like,
did you guys recap before we go into this week's matchup? Did you guys recap how Danny somehow every year?
Yeah, we
Oh,
went
just
over.
decides that he's going to play.
We went
against
over
him?
Danny's remarkable anti-Trevor power. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's really
fucked up.
remarkable.
Yeah, it's
really
crazy.
remarkable.
He's 4-0 against you, and literally your only since the playoffs last year,
He's your
your
boogeyman,
only
officially.
losses has come by Danny. Since the
Official
start of the playoffs last year, you are 0-3 on him, and that's like your only losses.
It's bullshit.
All right.
Oops.
Yeah, but I mean, the 500 matchups, and then anybody who's like fighting for the.
Oh, Joe, you versus Danny is
Wait.
spicy.
Let me do mine because I got to go to work.
Yeah,
Right.
you don't have anything to
We're
fight
thanks for
for,
dropping.
Trevor.
Who am I fighting?
Jordan.
Jordan for his life.
Yeah, Jordan.
for-
You have a chance to eliminate Jordan completely.
Yeah, if you beat Jordan, his season's
that means I have to
over.
set my lineup this week.
There you go.
Or wait, no, the only
That did
games
not
are.
work out for you though.
Yeah, no, it really
Yeah, I was
didn't
gonna say, hang
last
on, maybe
week.
I don't, because
Yeah.
every time I've set my lineup, I've lost, and every time I didn't set my lineup, I won.
You gotta wait for my
Oops.
text on the weekend that's like, hey, like half your team's on bye, and you're like, oh yeah.
True,
Fuck.
true. All right.
Maybe just set it right now because you've got games at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow, which is another thing I actually want to flag for everybody.
What
that-
the fuck?
We have a 9:30 a.m. Pacific game tomorrow. Heads the fuck up.
There's 3 games tomorrow. 1 or 2 games Friday.
One
and then
game
Sunday,
Friday.
Monday.
We
Yeah,
only
1 game
have
Friday and then Sunday, Monday.
it's Kansas City, Las Vegas on Friday, and then Sunday, Monday.
Oh, I'm sure there won't be any questionable reffing calls in that game at all.
Yeah, it's a
You
prime
have two
video
players no longer
game.
eligible.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
No, oh, yeah,
Trevor, you
everybody's
gotta-
on
you gotta
IR
ping me
fuck,
about
too.
the Vampire League too. So
Yeah,
think about
just
that later.
take K9
Yeah, I saw that. That's,
or
Thank
what's
you.
his name? You're either taking K9 or Justin Jefferson. Pick your poison. Homer
Oh my God.
or I know, yeah, Homer reasons
The
or
options.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the two that you should get there. Just, while we're chatting vampire.
Side tangent. That league has officially become Stop Trevor in the playoff league.
I mean,
That's
speaking
what
of,
it is.
I'm so glad to be 2-0 as the high stakes against the vampire.
Oh yeah, so last
my
couple weeks ago,
wooden-
Steve was talking shit, and Trevor's like, "Fuck you, you're up."
my wooden stake branding has saved me. I think that's the.
I don't know,
the
man. Maybe I steal his
superstition.
kicker, dude. His kicker got 13 points, bro. I don't know.
Who's his kicker?
Jason Elliott or Justin Elliott? Jake Elliott.
Oh,
that's what
Jake
it is.
Elliott. Fuck that. You
Your
don't
team
want
is
that.
so loaded that you're at the point where you're like looking at people's kickers.
What about his
No,
Lions, dude?
I was
The Lions
thinking-
defense.
I was
dude,
thinking
don't
about it's like,
know.
are you gonna grab a DST? Like that's a silly fucking thing to vamp on.
Might
but-
as well at this point. Like,
No, take J.
No, I gotta get rid of them having good players. That's the thing.
Exactly. Take Jefferson. Come on.
yeah,
That's the
Ju-
plan.
Justin Jefferson has been disappointing the last couple weeks, though. I gotta say.
Yeah.
As soon as
yeah,
he winds up on
but
Trevor's team, he's gonna have a resurgence.
we
Just
talked
watch.
He's gonna
about
pop up.
Yeah.
I'll give him
He's been-
Juwan, dude. You can have Juwan, and I'll take Jefferson.
All right, you heard it here live.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
heard
we're
it here
doing in the
live, Vampire Leagues. Yeah.
Sorry, everyone who's not in that league, Joe.
I'm glad I'm not. in
Yeah,
that.
But-
get fucked.
Dude,
Adam,
you don't want to be
don't
in that
worry.
league.
We'll give you the updates whenever Adam gets smoked, Joe.
Oh,
Hey,
I
he's on-
actually-
back
I-
bags of pretzels.
I did.
Adam
I nearly
is
doubled
getting-
Adam's points last week. Like,
Adam is
amazing.
getting absolutely destroyed in that league, like
just
completely
devastated.
shit-stomped.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine picking that roster and then none of those players like actually doing anything. Kind of wild.
Beautiful.
Joe, you weren't there for it, obviously, but Adam was giving us grief about setting the draft time to 2 minutes per pick. He was like, "It should be 30 seconds. I just did a draft yesterday, and it took like 2 hours. That was too long." And then he was like second pick or something, and he took almost the full 2 minutes to make
And
a pick.
then even
And then auto drafted later.
the rest of them, yeah. It's just like, oh my god, dude.
That's like the most classic Adam thing I've ever heard. So
yeah, extremely on brand.
He's probably
I'm
sitting there with his.
I'm glad I'm not in that league, dude.
He's
You
probably
can
sitting there with the bowl in his hand. He probably dropped it. He's like, "Oh fuck!" And he's like cleaning up like some burning piece of weed on the carpet or something. I can't make
All
my
right,
pick.
guys.
All right.
You got to run?
Well, we're wrapping it up here anyway.
Peace
but
out,
thanks for
Trevor.
hopping on,
Yeah.
Trevor.
Easy.
Later.
Thanks for coming
Later.
on.
Hey, don't forget Steve sucks.
Oh,
Yep.
fuck you. All right.
All right.
Getting
I
into
think
next
actually
week.
That's a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah, I guess we can just hit
yeah.
the defense wins championships right here.
Yeah. My kid just woke up too, so.
Oh yeah, then
grab
we're
her.
right on time here. I mean, we've been recording for
actually
about
perfect
2 hours, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I got stuff to go do. So
we're there. Yeah, me too.
All right.
So
Guys. Well, we'll see you next week.
sounds good.
Defense wins championships.
Sure fucking
You
does.
suck.
And fuck you both. And I already said fuck you to Trevor, so we're all good there. So
All right.
All right.
good luck in your
Happy
matches.
Thanksgiving,
Good luck with your matches,
Unless you're
everybody.
good luck with your matches unless you're playing against me. Fuck you, Ben. And yeah, happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Talk to you soon.
Drive safe.
Drive safe.
drive safe.
Don't get too trashed.
Bye.
Peace.
Later.